Turns out maybe the Force is real. So sci-fi, Star Wars, they talk about this amazing glowing force that permeates all living things. It connects us. It flows through us. It flows with us, etc., etc. And it's based on these little, I don't know what they are, critters called midichlorians. We're not going to talk about midichlorians, but there is this phenomenon called Bio Photons, and apparently all living things, including humans, constantly emit this ghostly glow which vanishes almost as soon as we die.
It's time for a little bit of science.
Just a little bit.
I'm Will Grant, Associate Professor of Science Communication at the Australian National University.
Sounds very impressive. I'm Rod Lambert's a 30-year veteran of science communication with the mind of a teenage boy. I know.
So today you're going to tell me about the regular force, real force.
I'm going to tell about the real force.
What else we got?
What do you got?
I got a new thing for us to worry about.
Thank you. That's what I've been looking for. I got a thing that maybe you could try at home. It's going to be a bit complex to do it, but just see how freaked out you can be.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got some smart animals.
I've also got a little trip into the wonderful world of human disgust.
Well, and I got some disgusting animals for you as well.
Ugh, they're all disgusting, but in an adorable way. Come on, my dogs, right? I love them. They're adorable, but fuck, they're disgusting.
No, they're gross. No, look, I mean, I know we are dog owners.
Yes.
So cat owners at this moment are saying, cats aren't disgusting.
Have you? Yes, they are.
They're not as gross as dogs. Like dogs are
different. They've all got their own pros and cons.
Look, fair enough. Look, animals, yes, in general, are gross.
Yeah, they're not built to be inside.
I just got to tell this story. This is a total tangent, but it always made me laugh. So this is Guardian article. I reckon it was about 20 years ago. And it was the story of this correspondent who was living in Indonesia at the time. He told the story of walking to his work from wherever he lived every day, and a water buffalo had been caught in like a swamp or something like that. And it was alive but dying.
Lovely.
And a Komodo dragon had
this is going to go well.
Yeah, it had burrowed into the water buffalo and was eating it slowly from the inside.
From the back door?
I don't know. I don't know if it was back door, side door, or any but the buffalo was still alive and the Komodo dragon was just happily eating slowly. But the thing about this article that got me is the Guardian columnist, they weren't observing this as a piece of, nature raw in tooth and claw, but as more, you're an abomination of a species. This is disgusting and horrible and you should not live like this. And I can imagine seeing this over a 3-day period just going,
Someone shoot the buffalo. Again, not a euphemism, but it sounds like one. I'm off to shoot the buffalo. So the force, right? So, like I said, there appears to be this ghostly glow, basically, around living things, animals and plants.
Like, okay, give me a spectrum here. Like, can we see this with special goggles?
Well, you kind of need something that can pick up. That they're basically called, these bio photons are ultra weak photon emissions. So periodic weak little photons, like light bits.
So there's obviously a couple of animals that can do bioluminescence.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
Deep sea fish and fireflies and stuff like that.
No,
it's not that.
It's not that. No. Look, people have been arguing about this for ages, apparently. Like, some people didn't think they exist, but now people are starting to agree. But it's shrouded in controversy. So basically it seems like mitochondria, the energy bits of our cells, the little energy factories, and related substances, apparently they emit the equivalent of a few photons per second per square centimetre of skin. A few photons.
Okay.
So just a little bit
but there are
blipping out.
So there are little blips of photons per square centimetre.
Yeah.
Wow.
From our energy cells, etc. So that's why they're called ultra weak. Like, it's just little pitiful blips occasionally, apparently.
So if I got nude in a really dark cave,
keep talking.
That's all. That's all of my story. But
it's a long weekend.
Are we saying that I can be detected?
Well, this is kind of what they're getting at. So this one, they say, look, they're really hard to detect and disentangle from other biological processes or light sources. Background lights, radiation, warmth can all reveal, depending on how you measure it, light or glow. So some clever clogs, Uni of Calgary, they got these digital cameras that could detect single photons. And then they put them on 2-hour-long exposures. So that's the kind of thing you got to do. You got to like sit it there and watch it just kind of hold your breath, and they go occasionally. And they focused on 4 hairless mice. Oh. I don't know if they shaved the mice. These are mice.
Yeah, okay.
And the photos were taken.
You know, probably genetically engineered.
Yeah, probably.
To be hairless.
Well, also they were, the exposure starts before they were dead and then after they were dead.
Well, you've got to try both conditions.
You do.
That is your control condition there, I think.
And obviously, of course, they died of natural causes.
Well, it depends what you mean by natural.
Well, true murder is natural, I suppose.
Yeah, look, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. So basically, they were kept at the same temperature to exclude heat as a factor, and they were put in a dark box to avoid light pollution. So they wanted to control for other possible photonic emissions. And they found that there was an emission, this biophotonic emission significantly decreases after death across the whole body of the mouse. So after death, it very quickly drops away. The first thing they can say is these ultra-weak photon emissions are real.
Yeah.
They definitely happen.
Or at least coming from the living us. They're not bouncing off us or something like that.
Yeah, they're being generated by the critter. And so one of the researchers says, look, this really shows this is not just another imperfection or caused by some other biological process. It's something that comes from all living things.
That's cool.
That's kind of cool. They took a picture of an umbrella tree as well, so not just an animate object, an animate creature, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Animal, that's the word. So they cut some leaves on the tree and they were doing the photon emission measurement. Various drugs were applied to the plant surface, like benzocaine, which nubs things. And whether you apply the drug or not, when you do this cutting, you watch it changes in biophoton emissions. And once they start to die off, they cease. So it happens to plants as well. There's a party pooper version of this, though.
Oh.
So Czech Academy of Sciences dude in Prague, he says, look, the absence of biophotons after death, it's because there's, no more blood flow because the oxygen-rich blood isn't there anymore. It drives metabolism, and that's what your biophotons are. That's what he claims. If the blood had been kept circulating, he reckons, you would have observed biophotonic emissions anyway if you just keep artificially pumping it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He's saying, this is a quote, it's not related to the systemic liveliness, it's related to the liveliness of the optical accessible tissue.
Okay. So what he's saying, there's a magical difference between the liveliness of blood flowing due to your heart versus blood flowing due to an artery. What is the problem here?
He's kind of claiming, I think what he's trying to say, it's kind of boring and mechanical. It's not related to some kind of life force or lifeness.
No, I'm with him. It's not a life force thing. It probably just could be associated with, the processes of
force, man.
It's not the force. It's not the force. It's pretty weekend version of the force.
In reality, always.
We slightly glow.
Yeah, we slightly glow, not after we're dead.
I mean, it's not exactly something that kills the Death Star. Slight glow.
Well, I'll let you in on a secret.
Very slight glow.
There isn't a Death Star to kill.
That's true.
So we don't have to worry about it.
Is there any purpose to this?
Yeah, actually, there could be.
Oh.
And this is interesting because basically they reckon you can, using this and getting better at measuring it, you can monitor living tissues, etc., without having to be invasive in any way, shape, or form. So it's kind of more like Star Trek than Star Wars because you're basically getting your tricorders and stuff, and you can monitor for things.
Yeah, okay.
And your life signs, and you can kind of go.
Not holding the mirror against their nose or something like that.
You can do that too, but it's tricky to do when you're between two spaceships.
So, well, we have talked in the past about people hovering between life and death and the difficulties of detecting death a few hundred years ago. This could be a thing that they could have used. They could have,
Well, I reckon also you can monitor the health of forests and stuff by looking at it that way. So you can remote sense health, life force, etc. sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's something in it. Like I say, so it's more Star Trek than Star Wars, but
that's cool.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the damn force, man.
So I'm going to start this story at the tail end just because it impressed me.
You're starting from the back?
Well, yeah. So I'm just going to read the last sentence
Spoiler.
from the abstract of this story.
Okay.
The implications of this thing are currently unknown, but likely to be severe. And I'm like...
Cool. That's how you start all big Hollywood blockbuster movies. Everything went to shit. Anyway.
We really don't know, but it's going to be severe. So here's a new thing for you to worry about.
Thanks.
The ocean is getting darker.
Darker. Like reflecting less light or denser and...
Darker. inside the ocean. So I don't know how much you know about the layers of the ocean, but I watched a lot of Octonauts with the kids, so I know the different zones.
Yeah,
you know, you got the, you know, there's sciencey names for it, or there's the less sciencey names. Top zone.
Uberstrasse.
Top street. The photic zone. You know,
Photic.
or you could call it the sunlight zone. You know, where
There's
top,
actual light interaction.
there's actually light in the ocean up to like 200 meters. I
200.
think, yeah,
Fuck, that's deep.
It varies where you are. Obviously, if you're in the equator and the water is clear, then it could get down to. But it's light at 1%. So what they're saying is 1% of the surface. You know, that's sort of the design.
Yeah.
You go down to the Arctic or the Antarctic, and because the light's coming in at an angle, it's not anywhere near as deep. So it does vary. Below that, then you get the twilight zone, the midnight zone, the Hadal zone. I think there's another one in there I missed. It just gets darker and darker.
Darker than the midnight zone?
Yeah, darker than the midnight zone.
Come on.
I think there might be 2 darker than the midnight zone.
Ultra midnight?
Yeah, extra midnight and
navy black.
You're in a cave. No, I think and a lot of this is defined by the amount of light that's coming down, which gets vanishingly small. I think the midnight zone there's nothing, but beyond that, then it adds pressures and things like that.
Right.
But anyway, we'll focus on the photic zone, which is the top 200 meters or so.
Yep.
That's the happy bit of the ocean where most things live. Obviously, anything that requires any marine organisms that photosynthesize, so you got seagrasses and kelps and stuff like that, and anything that lives on those things, it's got to live in the top 200 meters.
They need that zone.
So there's things that live lower, but what they're doing is they're living on things that fall down, or
they eat volcanoes or something.
There's something to do with volcanoes. Anyway. So these researchers have compared NASA satellite imagery from 2003, and 2022. And
everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Nearly 10% of the world's oceans, the photic zone, the top bit at the top, has gotten darker. Like it's shrinking the zone in which light is coming, so it's getting less further down.
What?
What? 10% of the ocean has gotten darker over this 20-year period.
Does this mean like the 200 meter is less than 200 meters, or across the whole 200 meters it's dimmer?
Well, actually, yes. Like if you were to draw, it's both. So if you were to draw the line previously at 200 meters, then it will be darker at 200 meters in these zones. But also if your line is, okay, where are we down to 1% of light? You've moved up. Like by 50 meters or something like that. So some up to
it's natural processes, man. It's always natural processes. It's solar flare activity.
But yeah, so some it's like shrinking that zone by up to 100 meters. So where previously it might have been 200, now it's 100. Like it's
so barely noticeable. I mean, what's 50% reduction? Big fucking deal.
Yeah,
this is great. Great. So what you're doing is just making the ocean more efficient. We only need the top 100 meters.
We're squeezing it all into the top little bit. So
that's just excellent. Do we know why?
There's potentially 2 processes here, but I'll let you in on a spoiler. Both of them are human caused.
No,
like
I won't have it.
So one of them is stuff that is coming from human processes and running out the rivers into the seas. So
kakapupu.
Yeah, well, yeah, kakapupu. But the leftovers of farming, nutrient runoff, microplastics, everything that is being washed into the sea from there. So there is definitely a whole function there.
What is it like? Souping up the water? Like
souping up the water.
Gunking
it literally is. Literally.
Thickening the
goo. Well, and also new things are blooming, like algal blooms is going to cause a problem. Algal blooms will stop the light. And then due to climate change, changes in ocean currents seem not to be stirring the water in the same way.
Cool.
And so,
cool.
Yeah, we've got a...
Cool. And is this has only just been really looked into? People have gone, goody.
So a couple of years they discovered the changing colour of the ocean. The ocean's getting greener, and that's because there's more algal blooms because of farm runoff, things like that. And now they've shown this darkening, which means that the ecosystems will be less able to survive. So
cool. This is great.
It just, as an apocalyptic thing, it's like, and then the oceans got dark.
What? But
you know the marshmallow test?
I do.
Kid can have 1 marshmallow now, or if they don't eat it, they can get 2 in 15 minutes. The marshmallow test has been critiqued. How much can you delay gratification? A lot of people said, "Oh, this is a great study to show who's going to be successful in life because the kids that can delay their gratification go on and get good jobs." Now, the critique is there are plenty of circumstances where it is not sensible to delay gratification, and there may be just a class bias here in this kind of thing. So you can be successful and eat the marshmallow straight away. But the interesting thing about the marshmallow test is it's also a nice way of looking at animal cognition. So it's not quite what job an animal is going to have in future life. Are they going to be a lawyer or something like that? But more we can understand.
Only represent hyenas.
We can understand, do those animals, what level of future thinking do those animals have? Like, are they ones that might plan, or they might be making a tool for a future thing, or caching? A question there is, what level is that instinct versus some sort of cognition? Now, this study is not going to tell you that.
No.
So marshmallow test has been shown previously in sort of species that you think of, okay, they're pretty high-end intelligent species. Crows, definitely. Because crows are known to cache and known to use tools. So classic examples. Dogs can pass it.
Okay.
Depends on the dog. We've all seen the idiot dogs.
Beagles, no.
No.
Do you know, I've heard more than one story from different people's beagles, where they've had to go to the vet because they've eaten golf balls. Fucking morons. Golf balls. Eaten. Not caught it and gone, but like...
I'm sorry. Okay, call for research. I want a list of all the stupid things dogs have eaten because, my God, like...
I want the niche. The niche is beagles, though, because apparently they are just moronically on-buttoned when it comes to food.
Oh, and also nasally triggered. Like they cannot handle not sniffing something. Like their brain has been so genetically engineered, or at least genetically bred for sniffing, that they are almost uncontrollable. They are so driven by it. So dogs, primates, you can imagine, So there, new study out, cuttlefish.
Nope.
Cuttlefish. So,
Squid with...
Squiddy type
with
things.
carvable bones.
Yeah, exactly. So we're at the cephalopod, not a cephalopod, even though it looks like it should be.
Are you going to tell me yet another thing I like to eat actually has a brain and cares about its friends? I'm sick of research like this. Like when they went, cows actually, they identify personalities and they're really friendly. I'm like, but they're also delicious.
Look, sadly, species that identify their friends, if that's your boundary of what you can eat, well, you are...
It's clearly not.
I don't think you necessarily have to be vegetarian, but there's certainly a bunch of things that you shouldn't.
It just annoys me though. Oh no, they love it. Pigs basically dogs, but they're pinker. I'm like, fucking.
But you could say, passing the marshmallow test. That's a future-oriented thinking. And one thing here about future-oriented thinking is not saying they understand the mortality, but they occupy a cognitive world a little bit closer to ours. And we don't eat dogs, we don't eat crows, but we don't tend to eat primates very much. Cephalopods, possibly other mollusks too, but I don't have it for this study. But I just want to talk through this study because it's just got some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So these researchers, they designed a test where cuttlefish, they put them in a special tank with 2 enclosed chambers that's got transparent doors so the animals can see what's behind them.
Uh-huh.
Behind door number 1 is something
money.
Not quite.
And door
money.
number 2, a box with a mystery ingredient.
No, in door number 1 was a raw king prawn. Apparently, apparently okay, but not quite to the cuttlefish's desire.
Really?
And behind door number 2 was a much more enticing live grass shrimp. So raw king prawn that's dead. And live. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know which. It doesn't really matter which one is the reason
one
that
is
they're preferred. But one is definitely preferred and known to be preferred. So it could be the live, could be the taste of them, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, the doors had symbols on them so that the cuttlefish could read.
Obviously, they put it in their own language.
I was reading this and it's just casual about, the cuttlefish have been trained to recognise, not read. There was a triangle for the raw king prawn, a circle for the one they want. The triangle is the live grass shrimp that you want, circle for the raw king prawn that you don't quite want, and a square meant this door's never going to open.
I feel like they're kind of, missing the lead here. Cuttlefish can read.
I was like, that was buried in this article, and I was like, symbolic communication?
Oh, yeah, they can do that. Yeah, anyway. back to whether they'd eat the marshmallow. You're like, dude. You taught a freaking weird squidfish to navigate a room.
So the circle meant the door would open straight away. A triangle meant the door would open after a time interval of 10 to 130 seconds. So
10 to 130 is quite a range.
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes. And the square, which was only in the control condition, meant it would never open. So if it's seeing square and either triangle or circle, then it's just going for the one that will open. Yeah. But then it has to weigh up. So in the test condition, the crappy prawn was behind the door that opened first, while the live shrimp, the tasty one, was only accessible after a delay. If the cuttlefish went for the prawn, then the shrimp was immediately removed.
And they could see that.
They could see it.
Right.
They could see it. All the cuttlefish in the test condition decided to wait. So it's like, it's not even testing which cuttlefish or all of the cuttlefish.
Not even one weirdo.
They're looking at.
There's the fat cuttlefish. Fucking feed me now, fucking.
Yeah, not even one weirdo. Not one that was brought up in a terrible house where there's a little brother that would steal all your Easter eggs. No, they're all like, no, I'm waiting for that live one. Like they're
and I assume they were all fed the same amount of time beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, oh man, they are all sitting there going and waiting for the tastier food, waiting for the.
Maybe cuttlefish feel hunger differently.
So the theory is,
I mean, I've thought about this 1,000 times. Obviously,
it could be to do with the way that they hunt. Tool use might indicate future planning, or caching might indicate future planning. But cuttlefish sort of lie there hidden and they're camouflaged, and then they might jump out when they're foraging. And so it's dangerous for them to come out of cover. So what they're doing is looking for what is the best.
Make it worthwhile.
Make it worthwhile.
Bang for buck.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a risk to them to come out. So they break camouflage when they forage. So they're exposed to every predator in the ocean that wants to eat them.
I assume in this experimental condition they're just floating in a tank.
They're just in a tank. So there's no predators. But this is as in like evolutionary wise.
Instinctual behaviour.
In the ocean. You go for the food that it's worth breaking cover for. And so they were deciding,
that makes sense.
I can see that food there that's worth breaking cover for, which is just, I don't know.
It doesn't sound ridiculous.
Look, yes, maybe the lead is we can train cuttlefish to read.
It should be.
But number two,
by the way,
we can make
books for fish.
We can make them into little lawyers that will just delay their gratification and wait.
I don't know. I'm more excited about them reading, I'll be honest. I mean, that's impressive.
I get it.
Well done, scientists.
But look, we should all have a look at the species we're eating and sort of think about their cognitive abilities and then
fuck off. I don't eat a lot of dead things, but I really enjoy it when I do. Like, I really do. Speaking of eating dead things, is there any food that you're truly disgusted by? Like, just no, either have eaten or just the idea of it makes you just go, just no.
None that I have eaten, but I know they exist as foods in some countries. It's like the I don't know the name for it. I think in the Philippines it's a common delicacy. It's like the duck egg, the fertilized duck egg. So it's got the
that's been underground for 1,000 years and you eat the bones.
Not necessarily.
Just the whole.
It's the whole. Like it's got the baby duck in there.
And you got to chew through it.
I can't handle that.
Like, yeah, I'm not keen on that. Why? What is it that? What's your reaction? Like, what's it based on? Just that it's weird to eat a dead baby? I
remember my mum saying once that it felt unfair to eat baby carrots because they hadn't had a chance to grow them. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know if it's that. Like, I think there is a little bit of our food production system's rough as it is. So
crunching through bones isn't highly appealing.
Crunching through bones is not appealing to me. That's particularly if they're sort of semi-hard, sort of like that's.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be super keen. I mean, I've only had two foods that I've really gone, oh fuck no.
What were they?
One was there was a wonton soup, but there were lamb bones in the wontons. And what revolted me more than anything was just the texture. They were just so gelatinous and flavourless. So I got texture I didn't like with no reward for the flavour as well. And I was just like, I wasn't revolted, but it was definitely like,
not really loving it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the other one was this weird. I was at a sushi train in Japan, and these they were kind of like sort of dumplingy things that came around. And I found out after I'd eaten them they were crab brain
Crab brain.
Raw crab brain.
How much brain do you get per crab? I'm feeling like it's not a big brain.
No. Well, I don't know how big the crab was. I mean, it might have been a giant.
Oh, yeah, this is like Mozilla. So
exactly, but it tasted like crap. Like it left an aftertaste. You know, a really horrible taste that leaves sort of a residual smell in the back of your nose that just won't go away. It was sort of musty.
Yeah,
like old, slightly moist books.
Do you know? It's not the same. But have you had pork that's got boar taint?
No.
When a pig, and I don't know, like when it's really high in testosterone, either if it's in a particular period or something like that, and it gets through the meat, and it's just wrong.
Tastes like angry dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. Some of those hormonal type things that you get in meats are not great.
Okay, doesn't sound great. None of it sounds great. But according to at least some scientists, we reject potential foods for at least in the 80s, they come up with this 4 general reasons, although there hasn't been a lot of research since then on this. The gist was the rejections to the foods.
Is this adults or children?
Adults.
Okay.
Yeah, grown-ass peoples.
Yeah.
Who've gone through the standard. I don't like it because I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
So the 4 they say are inappropriate, dangerous, distasteful, or disgusting. So disgust is apparently commonly a primary reason for rejecting animal products.
Yep.
Distaste tends to be often, apparently, again, applied to plant-based foods. So taste, texture, smell. So, kids who curl up their nose at, Brussels sprout.
Or mushrooms mushrooms very much like kids that like the texture is not something.
Yeah, I know adults who cannot abide them.
Yeah.
So that's their distaste. So apparently that's quite often distaste plant-based. Mm-hmm. Inappropriate, they weren't clear, but I'm going to say, I don't know, eating kids.
Or
seems inappropriate,
or against your religious rules, like pork in
those parts of the world. Dangerous, I don't know, bicycles, explosives. They're probably dangerous. Don't eat them.
Sea urchins and shit. Like this is when they're potentially poisonous and stuff.
Yeah, so that's probably better than. I mean, we all know not to eat bicycles as well, but
that French guy did.
He did. Fuck, he ate a car in the end, didn't he?
He ate a plane. Fucker ate a plane. Like. Oh man, way to turn your potentially eating disorder, potentially psychological disorder into a somewhat of a career.
Grating it up on your cornflakes, fucking horrifying. Just don't eat that much metal and grease, and paint flecks. Did he eat the chairs? So he's eating upholstery.
I feel like
entertainment
like it's the whole lot. Like it was a Cessna, not a Boeing, but.
Just the idea, though. Imagine when you walk and you go, all right, I'm going to eat that. It's going to take a while.
And it's going to be a hassle to cut every single bite. It's going to be a pain in the ass.
Because he wasn't swallowing whole bolts, I assume. He was grinding. The bicycle guy, I'm sure he grated them up, right?
I think so.
Eating shaved metal. And
I think that's what you're doing.
Fuck's sake.
It's also not great. Like, I get, poster up in your cafe that says, dude who eats bicycle coming to town. And you go, I'll be interested. And then you turn up.
It's a long show.
It's not a lot of fun.
Very long show.
What's the narrative arc here?
Yeah.
At the end, I'll fucking...
Now he poured iron filings on his yogurt. You're like, gross. I mean, I'm not disgusted by it. I'm just like, that just sounds like it'd be really fucked up.
And sad and tedious. Like
crapping bits of metal, that's got to have an effect. Iron filings and things are scraping through your bowel. I'm against that. So some people, University of Exeter, Pommy they wanted to see which of these psychological mechanisms came into play when people reject meat compared to vegetables. So they were looking at inappropriate, dangerous, distasteful, disgusting. They wanted to dig in a bit further. And why, which is a good question to ask, they wanted to look at the way or the reasons and understanding why people reject certain foods because it might help them help other people adjust to different diets. If they've got, severely interventionist diets for medical or health reasons, whatever. Maybe if we understand more about their reasons for rejection of foods, etc., we can assist them.
Yeah, sure. No, look, and totally,
reasonable.
It's absolutely an area in which treatments would be needed.
Yeah. So they had nearly 300 people in an online group of participants. 250 were anti-meat, no vegetarians. About 50, 60 were omnivorous. Mm-hmm. So, like us.
Somewhat omnivorous. Like, calm down on your right here.
Yeah, well, they didn't eat bicycles.
And until, I think that dude can count as omnivorous. I feel like...
So, meat and veg.
Yeah.
So, apparently there were 11 images of different, as they put it, substances, which included things like meat, commonly disliked vegetables, which they list as olives, weird, sprouts, raw eggplant, can't really.
I don't.
When do you eat raw eggplant? It's not part of any recipe.
It's got a weird rubbery texture.
Yeah, it's just sort of chewy. And beetroot apparently is another one, commonly disliked.
Oh my god!
Vegetables.
Incorrect.
I feel the same about olives. Like, how do you not like olives?
I can understand that. Like I love olives, but they're a strong flavour.
So they were shown these different images, and they were asked a bunch of questions about how eating those foods would make them feel. And they wanted to distinguish between what people felt when they rejected different foods. So the questions got more detailed. So like a disgust-related question would be, I would dislike any dish which contained even the tiniest amount of this food, even if I could not taste it, smell, feel, or see it.
Yep.
So full-on aversion to that food, that particular thing. Distaste would be more like, I would dislike the taste, smell, or texture of this food. So it's just like you'd have to interact with it and know that you were eating it and kind of go, nah. And the people who ate meat as well were also shown images of things that most people, normal people, would find disgusting, like dog meat or shit.
Great.
And then you're asked, how would you feel about
eating this? Suboptimal.
Suboptimal, exactly. Not great. So they found then when the participants said they wouldn't eat meat, a substance pictured in the study, take a picture of meat, they completed the questionnaire then to probe their reasons for that rejection. So the vegetarian's like, this is meat you wouldn't eat.
Yep.
Tell us more about why.
Yep.
And they found that people who rejected vegetables did it based on distaste, but people who rejected meat, it was disgust that drove them.
Okay.
Disgust in particular. And I was saying this is the most robust evidence that we have that rejecting meat and vegetables are repellent on different underlying processes.
Okay. No, but I can believe that.
But what caught my attention, this is why I actually dived into this at all, vegetarians would regularly respond to meat that other people would eat, like roast chicken, beef, whatever, the same way that meat eaters would respond to the idea of eating dog meat, shit, or human flesh.
Yeah. Okay.
Same level of disgust. So for me saying, would you like a plate of dog shit? And you're like, I'm horrified. A vegetarian, would you like a steak? And they apparently would feel the same level of disgust.
I can totally believe it.
As cannibalism, which I think is fascinating. Like, that's deep disgust. I'd live with a vegetarian. I know vegans. And I'm like, I knew they weren't a fan, but I didn't imagine
obviously
a visceral level of disgust like that.
Obviously, there's going to be different reasons that people are vegan or vegetarian, and I've certainly heard of people that are like, there are certainly people that are like ethically. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I get
or
that.
Other people is like, no, I don't give a shit about the ethics. It's so disgusting to me. The concept, viscerally, not intellectually. So.
And I do not share that. My problem is it really doesn't disgust me at all. I think it's just fucking delicious. Whenever I eat meat, I'm extremely happy. I'd rather I had the visceral reaction because it's probably better that I didn't like it as much.
I mean, it had the dog food or shit. But what about our boundary species meat? Like, so here's a steak made from dog.
Yep.
Like, what does that look like to you?
This gets weird and borderline. I mean, to me, I would be appalled by it because I like dogs. However, in the right environment, I reckon there's virtually nothing I wouldn't try if I knew it wasn't poisonous.
Yeah, okay.
In theory.
And by right environment, you don't mean cannibalism, like shipwreck survival, you mean like, okay, this is a clean looking restaurant in a country where this is condoned.
Where this is standard, but like I don't want to, but it's like, do you eat horse in France?
Oh, horse is delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's okay.
No, I liked it. But it's about sauce, right?
Yeah, I know. Like
just enough garlic, monsieur. Just enough.
Well, I had mine recently with wasabi. It's great. It's a great vehicle for the wasabi.
We should. Horseradish goes with horse. Everyone knows that. But they said basically in every case though, these responses and their reasons for being horrified, it was always different. No matter who they were, people's negative reaction to vegetables was always different to the reactions to meat. Like vegetables sit in a different category.
Yeah. Even
if you're anti that vegetable, there doesn't appear to be this visceral level of disgust, etc., compared to the way a vegetarian feels about eating acceptable meats, which I think is very interesting. What do you do with it? I don't know. I'm just interested. And yes, it could help people who have visceral dietary issues and have to change it for medical reasons. But I just think how fascinating the level of disgust. I mean, I have a friend who they eat meat, but they're very specific. So if there's the hint, just the tiniest hint of fat, for example, I can't eat that.
That's where the texture gets weird. Well, I got a little bit of animals eating things for you. Like,
thank you. Are they eating people?
Well, it's not a disgust because I just like this as a story because it's a fun bit of scientists doing stuff. The title here is Novel Observations of an Oceanic White-Tip Shark and Tiger Shark Scavenging Event. So
Oh, it sounds so delightfully arm's length and banal.
No, it kind of is. It's kind of lovely. So, yes, riffing off the idea of things that disgust, I don't think sharks have that in their brain.
Nope.
Like maybe if they saw a tree that would not interest them.
You put one drop of blood on it.
But
Boom.
I doubt there is a moment of disgust. It's like, what can I mean, they're scavengers and they're predators. On April 9th, 2024, these scientists watched for 8.5 hours as at least 9 different of the white-tip shark and a bunch of tiger sharks fed on a giant blubber lump of whale carcass. So this is a sort of
still eating
a blob of whale carcass that's like 2 or 3 meters long. It looks just like a little white iceberg, and it had been spotted by some tour operators floating in the ocean around Hawaii.
Oh, it's floating.
It's floating,
right? Okay.
Now it's actually not terribly common to see these things. So
they normally sink, right?
I think they'd normally sink. I don't know why this one didn't, but also. Typically, they're just going to be small, or you just won't notice them, or something like that. But it was a large enough blob that the sharks were like, "Okay, this is pretty cool."
Party time.
And the scientists as well were like,
some barbecue.
This is pretty cool. We can go and watch this thing." And so they watched all day on this day from when they got there at like 10 a.m. until sunset, and then they couldn't see anything anymore, so they had to go, and they couldn't find it.
Which is strange because they're actually physicists. So why would a bunch of physicists do that? Like, what are you, a shark etiologist?
But the thing is that they were saying is the sharks were really quite polite with each other.
No, good sir.
There was a bunch there the whole time. Like they'd just be milling around, and
not like going each other.
They did not go each other at all. There was no ramming behaviour, no nudging behaviour. So typically only 1 or 2 sharks would be on the lump of blubber at a time, and you can see that they're like jumping a little bit out of the water, getting their head to grab a bit of blubber. And the others would hang back. And then when that shark might have had its fill, then another one would come in.
I got a theory.
The small sharks would be underneath, sort of picking up the scraps. The big sharks at the top. But it was like a polite little shark picnic.
I got a theory. I've worked out why.
What?
I mean, there's a cost-benefit analysis here. If you look at it and you go, okay, that's a shit ton of food.
Yep.
And if I scuffle with a tiger shark, I might come away worse for wear. But if I just kind of hang back, there's so much food.
There's so much food.
Maybe they're thinking ahead too. Oh my God. All creatures will think like people.
They must be thinking ahead just a tiny bit to go, look, I'm still going to get food. Like there's no way that Sharky up there is going to eat the whole lot.
So yeah, I wonder if the same thing, obviously we've got to test this out. Let's go and get a whale and make it a piece that's clearly only enough for 2 sharks and put it in front of 9 and see if they're still nice to each other.
But look, I mean, this is the sort of the animal version of the tragedy of the commons. You know, we humans can't share resources, so we end up fighting over it. You know, we fight over the carcass, we fight over the coins dropped on the ground, and it's all terrible.
I'm
but
not
it's
selfish, but they might be, so I'm going to take all of it.
But it's actually not true in humans, and probably not as true in the animal world as well. So look, I just want to make you a little bit happy that even sharks can have a pleasant little picnic together.
That does surprise me. I'd like to see it happen again. I want more than one observation.
Well, we can do it. We can go and look for some sharks and get some whale blubber.
We're going to kill a whale.
This has been your little bit of science.
Just a tiny bit.
For the week. I've been Will Grant.
I haven't. I've been the other guy.
Other guy. Listener, your job is, of course, to rate us. What do you reckon?
I want 89, not stars, I want moons. I want them to give us moon ratings instead.
Moons.
Yeah. Stars, everyone gets stars. I want 19 moon rating.
19 moons.
Yep. On every platform, even platforms that don't exist.
Well, go out there and do that, listener. You're the best. We love you.
And you've got questions for us.
Yes.
Questions for us.
Where do they send them?
They send them to cheers at the internet. No, cheers at a little bit of science, one big word, .com.
.au.
We're Australian. Or is that Austria?
No.
This is the world's first Austrian science podcast done in English. The first.